Hi, everybody. Everybody come through, come through, come through. I didn't tell people that I was live yet. Shout out to everybody in the chat. My goodness, guys, come through. I changed the time to like maybe 10 minutes. Hopefully, I highly doubt notifications went out because I did that, but it is what it is. I just had to go live when I had to. Welcome everybody. Hit that like button, please, and thank you. Let me let the people know we're live. Hold up, y'all. My stuff is not set up. We live now. Welcome everybody. Let me tag the people of the Discord. Hey Discord folks. Welcome everybody. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Remind me, I gotta put that I gotta share this link again. We live now for all because I know we got new members. And that Discord link expires, I think, within 24 hours. It expires in 7 days, actually. Welcome, everybody. As people are coming through, hit the like button, please and thank you. Hit the like button, please and thank you. Appreciate it. Let me post this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, I guess I can't do it there. Anyways. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Did you guys get notified? Let me know. Welcome. Hi there. Welcome. I am early. Only by like, I switched the time a little bit. Hey, Belen. Hey, everybody. I see people coming through. I'm letting those notifications go out. Welcome. You guys got notified, actually? Wow, I'm a little impressed. Hey, Tony. Thank you, Robbins. Shout out to you. Lord have mercy. You said yes, but not at 2 p.m. Oh, you didn't get the notification from earlier. You got the notification for today. That's interesting. Okay. I guess I can't win all the time. It is what it is. Welcome everybody, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, now hold up. Let me get these shared notes. As people are coming through. Today's the 8th, right? Okay, I got everything going now. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I haven't even had my first drink of, well, I did have coffee this morning, but the second drink. Twice a day at least. You were notified, Evil Queen, finally. Oh my goodness. I feel like people, it's like hot and cold. Sometimes people get notified and sometimes people don't. By the way, this is a green screen. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I love the plants. The sun is on the other side of the window though, but I love the plants. I mean, I think it's cute. Maybe I'll do this when it's like really gloomy outside or something. I mean, it looks a little awkward because it's not, well, hold up. Because you guys can see the rabbit. There you go. Ta-da. Oh my goodness. Absolutely. Completely understand, Jenny G. Hey, Olson. You have to be able to take a mental health break because some of this stuff gets a little too difficult to, especially with the Diddy stuff. It's been kind of like, it gets to be too much sometimes. And I don't blame people for wanting to take a break from that. I've had people who kind of come and go, and that's okay. But, it is what it is. There's different things happening around the world. Now, why are you blurry? Don't be blurry. Don't be blurry. Okay, it's not blurry anymore. You were notified on this one. Okay. All right, guys. So we got to get it together and let people come in when they come in here. Yeah, the Diddy stuff is pretty heavy. And, you have people kind of from both ends. It can get to be a lot. So I definitely understand it. But hey, I want to talk a little bit about, we're only going to talk a little bit about Diddy, not too much today, because we already talked about him earlier today, but there is a couple of exclusives that are being reported, excuse me. First of all, I guess he's had some legal wins on the civil side, such as the legal score. Diddy scores another legal win, are claims withdrawn from lawsuits. Now, I don't know which lawsuit that was, because he's had multiple lawsuits. Yeah, definitely a heavy subject, I would say. Definitely. And I don't blame you at all. Hey Ronnie, how are you? You said catching up a bit of the stream before. Well, shout out to you. Hope you have a good drive time, Gizmo. Thank you. I'm not really sure what legal part that they're referring to. I mean, is it any of the Busbys? Who knows? Diddy is on a roll, legally speaking, because he keeps racking up wins in court, except for the Mann Act. Keep that in mind. After outfoxing federal prosecutors, he's now dealing with the major blow to one of his SA assault accusers. Who exactly? That's what I don't know. Hold up. Let's see if we can pull this up. This was literally 4 hours ago. Oh, wow. That case. Okay. We reviewed this case. All right. Let me tell you what's going on here. Diddy, I'm on a hot streak in court. That's not what he said. That's what TMZ is saying, of course, because TMZ likes to add a little extra to the different things that they do. Okay. Are claims withdrawn from lawsuit? Diddy's on a roll, legally speaking, because he keeps racking up wins in court. After outfoxing federal prosecutors, he's now dealing a major blow to one of his SA accusers. Here's the deal. A woman named April Lampros. I remember April Lampros. The April Lampros lawsuit was filed by I want to say Tyrone Blackburn, but don't quote me on that. And I feel like I have an Excel sheet for this. Give me one sec. Let me see if I can pull it real quick. April Lampros. April Lampros was the model. I believe she was like an America's Next Top Model. Let's see. And I do have the lawsuit information here. Yeah, April Lampros was the lawsuit that was filed by Tyrone Blackburn. And in this specific lawsuit, why it stood out to me was because this is one of the only lawsuits where an alleged victim said that Kim Porter had something to do with their abuse. Okay, that Kim Porter was involved. This was what this person, April Lampros, actually reported. And I remember because in the lawsuit, Tyrone Blackburn added invitation cards, Father's Day invitation, party celebrations, like those kinds of cards. I remember it so clear. We reviewed it. So April was like in like into fashion, and then she got into like America's Next Top Model. So there was pretty sure that was her, unless I'm confusing her with somebody else. But I do wonder. She's not the one that worked at a restaurant. So I'll show you guys this little Excel sheet that I had where I was keeping track of all of them. A lot of these are the civil ones, right? So April Lampros, whose number I didn't have, but it was filed on May 23rd, 2024. It involved Kim Porter, Daddy Day cards, bad boy and fashion. She might not be the Next Top Model one. She might be a different girl, but she was like in college for fashion. That's who it was. And I just remember because she included like little like Father Day cards or something like that, because she was invited to like a Father's Day celebration, if I remember correctly. So that's some of it. Okay. Now, here's the deal. The woman named April Lampros sued Diddy last year, claiming he R'd her multiple times in the 1990s. But those allegations are no longer part of the lawsuit. According to new legal documents obtained by TMZ, the woman claimed for battery, SA, and negligent infliction of emotional distress have been dismissed. Okay, the suit was filed by Tyrone Blackburn. I had my sheet correct. It was by Tyrone Blackburn. Also listed Bad Boy Records as a defendant, claiming the company enabled him to commit the alleged crimes. But now all claims against Bad Boy have been dismissed. There's this thing that Tyrone Blackburn does where he doesn't follow through. So it's kind of like it hits social media just to kind of embarrass the celebrity. And then there's like no follow through. I have yet to really see a lot of follow throughs with, I know Mr. Rogers sweaters are showing up. With any of the lawsuits that he has presented. And I think this has been his tactic. I mean, I see him sticking around for Little Rod Jones, but Other than that, that's it. I haven't seen anything else. The only claims remaining here is one under gender motivated violence protection law based on an alleged incident in late 2000 or early 2001. Lampro says Diddy went back to her apartment after they bumped into each other in an NYC and violently grabbed her and forced himself onto her. She says she was able to fight Diddy off and left. Diddy's camps Diddy's camp tells us the dismissal significantly narrowed this particular civil case. But Blackburn says it's a win. The case moves forward and discovery begins. I guess. Oh my God. I'm like, I don't know. When it comes to Blackburn, I never know what to expect. He says it's a win. Okay. As you know, Diddy dodged a bullet last week when he was acquitted of the racketeering trafficking charges in his federal criminal trial, and with prosecutors taking a monumental loss only by being able to secure convictions on lesser charges involving prostitution. Okay. So that being said, I mean that is the win. There is one less, I guess, lawsuit to a certain degree. I don't know. Yeah, this would be Lindell. And this is one, like I remember April because she said that it involved Kim Porter. It was one of the only lawsuits that I remember ever mentioned Kim Porter. No worries, Dee Dee. Have a good night. Shout out to you, love. Shout out to you. So that was a lawsuit from April Lampros. That was, I guess, a win. They are showing the verdict sheets, guys. Let me show you guys. I guess this has been released now. Of course, they're released at TMZ. Here's the Diddy verdict sheets returned by the jurors. Like, here's one. It's not showing anything. Not guilty. There you go. Big old check mark. Not guilty. Guilty. Give you guys an idea. And we don't even know what juror number this is. Not guilty and guilty. Okay. So they have the sheets. Figure out how TMZ got a hold of them. I guess I don't know. I guess we'll never know. Anyways, moving on. So that was the Diddy news. We'll be following up a little bit more. Okay. Let's talk about Shannon Price. This story really makes me mad. It really does. The story of Gary Coleman, the original child star. Truly before a lot of child stars. I would say he would be, you have your Shirley Temples and stuff like that. But like, oh, he did? Okay. Thank you. Gary Coleman is a story that really makes me mad. That I did a couple of deep dives on. And I would, if you guys can, go watch it. I've done at least 3, right? I truly feel like this man was murdered. I do. I feel like people didn't give enough or cared enough about Gary. Because he wasn't always the most likable personality. Because he's always had a target. He always had a target on his back. Since he was a child. I mean, he was taken advantage of by his parents. He sued his parents. There was a lot that was unsaid from that situation. His parents made him work when he had all these medical conditions. This is the truly Gary Coleman. It is the original child star of the industry. Okay, truly original. For so many reasons, right? And the people around him in his circle that got close to him, like the actors and the actresses from the show. My camera is really blurry. There we go. They really felt for him too, if you know what I mean. Like they really wanted to like protect him. They saw different sides of him. He was working hours upon hours when he would needed dialysis. This is the kind of stuff, like it's like he was a child and there were times where he didn't want to work, but his family kept pushing him to it for money. It's a horrific story. And so when I see videos of Gary Coleman now, at like, clearly it's been years since he died, but like as an adult and the things that he does, I don't blame him for being so confrontational and aggressive towards people that always seem to attack him, like they always did. It's like Jaleel White, right? Steve Urkel. Steve Urkel is another person who, he's like, when you talk to him about like his personality on Steve Urkel, the man has been typecast um in so many ways, right? Like he can't really, he's never had like a breakthrough role. There's a lot of child stars that get, funneled into these roles, and then they make a lot of money, and then they get used by the guardians or adults, and then they just kind of they get let go. They kind of get thrown out. You can only play an 11-year-old for so long. Once you hit 18 or 25, people start noticing. And so it would make sense to me why people become bitter, in life when things don't pan out. In my opinion, I mean, this man made so much money. Gary Coleman made so much money. He shouldn't have had to ever worry about his medical conditions, but people took advantage of him. People took advantage of him. And so when he died, nobody gave a shit. Very like individuals. There was a girl that was really close to him that like loved him, not Shannon Price, another woman. They were close. And so she fought for him, but I don't think anybody really gave a shit about Gary. Like nobody did. So, anyways, there's an exclusive. Here's what's going on, right? Shannon Price, who her story has always been kind of backwards about the day that Gary Coleman died. She tells this story of like, she wasn't feeling very good about herself. She was in bed. Gary had just gotten done with medical treatment. He's coming home. She makes Gary go get pizza rolls for her, right? Gary, straight out of like the medical office or whatever, I guess, falls down the stairs and somehow hits his head or something. He was well enough to like she's calling the police. There's dogs here, and Gary's like not like, he's responsive but not responsive. And apparently there's blood everywhere. And Shannon doesn't want to touch him, doesn't want to do anything. She can't do CPR, she can't resuscitate, she can't do nothing to him, right? Ambulance comes home. He's wide awake, I guess, awake enough to walk to the ambulance. This is what's being said. I don't believe it, but that's her version. He dies in the hospital, okay, in Utah. He had a what is it? What do you call a DNR? Not a DNR, not a do not resuscitate. He had a specific, I forgot what it's called, but a specific type of mandate that if he were to fall in some kind of coma or something like that, to give him 15 days, 15 days on life support. And that if he doesn't come back, to go ahead and pull the plug. Well, the lady pulled the plug like in 2 days. She did. So, of course, the internet kind of came for her. She kind of went into hiding. She decides, I don't know if she decided she needed money now and was like, let me go do a lie detector test. So there's going to be a directive. Thank you. Advanced directive. That's what it is. Thank you, Storm. So she's like, I don't know. I'm just going to go do a lie detector for shits and giggles. I think she did it with A&E, right? Well, she failed the lie detector test about the death of Gary Coleman. Now, I don't put any kind of like, what's the word? I don't trust lie detector tests. I don't, right? But I don't think I needed a lie detector test to tell me that this woman is a liar, to tell me that this woman lies, to tell me that this woman is deceitful, and that, in my opinion, she probably had something to do with with what happened to Gary. Mhm. I didn't need that. Her own words and how she contradicts herself, and the fact that they had a history of DV, tells me everything that I need to know. And Gary's not here to defend himself at all. At all. It's all about credibility. Like, she literally lied multiple times. And I did a short video. I've shared it on Twitter, and I shared it on the community wall on this. So I guess this is what she decides to do. I said, why am I not surprised? Maybe she needed a little money or something. I'm not really sure. So Gary Coleman's ex-wife, Shannon Price, shocking lie detector test. It's not shocking. We know. What does it say about his fatal fall? Well, It doesn't say anything in terms of like, can they go and charge her? Can they do something with her? No, they probably can't. The 2-hour premiere of Lie Detector, Truth or Deception, airs July 10th at 9 p.m. Okay, on A&E. So Gary Coleman's wife, Shannon Price, is putting her name on the line. The lady needed money. Following 15 years of speculation, and we're still speculating, about Price's involvement in the late actor's sudden death, she continues to maintain her innocence. Now people can exclusively reveal the shocking results of a voluntary lie detector test. Okay. And I quote, I literally my whole life have had the odds working against me, Price said in a 2-hour premiere. And so I'm really hoping for a good outcome. Not everyone is perfect at taking a polygraph test, but I have a glimmer of hope that this works out in my favor and people will be like, okay, you know what? She's just a normal girl that had an unfortunate situation happen.
These are the results on the critical questions.
Correct. The exam had to do with Gary's fatal fall.
Okay.
I asked you the following relevant questions on this test. Did you physically cause Gary's fall? You answered no.
Right.
I also asked you, did you physically cause Gary to fall that day? And you answered no. And the results are, you failed that exam with deception indicated to those relevant questions. Let me say that again. You failed the exam regarding Gary's fall. What are your thoughts?
That's false.
There's two things I know for sure, Shannon. One, you were not completely honest with me yesterday during this polygraph session. And two, the other thing I know that's 100% certain is that there is more to this story that hasn't been told.
Lie Detector, Truth or Deception premieres Thursday, July 10th.
And there's more to this story that has not been told. If you want to watch my breakdown, which I did breakdown, I want to say, was it 10 months ago? It was 10 months ago. I'll show you guys where to go. If you go to the community wall of the channel, let's see. It's right over here. It's my community wall. It says post. I posted it right here. And it says Shannon Price took a lie detector test and failed. Now, I don't necessarily feel that lie detectors are true or accurate. However, Gary Coleman's death has always been sus. And I don't believe Shannon Price at all. The link is in there.
Gary was already downstairs. And to me, it sounded like pans that hit the floor.
Tell me a little bit more about what happened the night he fell.
I asked him if he could make me some food, and he went downstairs and I heard this big smack. I rushed down.
There's only a couple times as far as anything physical. Yeah, there was a couple times. I mean, I slapped him a couple times. I mean, nothing major, nothing like red flag.
I have this on my head because I fell down the stairs. I don't want people thinking that my wife is abusing me.
Shannon Price, why are the details of this event changing over the years? There you go. Go watch it. It's out there. Check it out. I've done a total, I think it was 3 videos on this, and I broke it down. But this one specifically, I got to reviewing her statements, her inconsistencies, and kind of where she went with that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Yes, I did. And I have 3 videos, by the way. He died May 28, 2010, age 42, so long ago. Right, Olsen? It's so long ago. He died a long time ago. Literally. But what can they do? I just don't think that. I think they had a fight. And I think she pushed him down the stairs. I think that's what happened. I think that she was physically abusive towards him in more than one occasion, and he struggled with that, right? Because he'd always struggle with telling people the extent of what was going on in their relationship. He always struggled with it. So, in my opinion, I think she had a hand in a lot of that. That's how it is. Yeah, but Foxy, what'd she say? She said that that's normal. You got to check her own statements. I think she pushed him down, and I think they got into blows. And he had just gotten done with the medical procedure. I believe he had just gotten done with dialysis or something like that. Don't quote me. It's been a minute since I've reviewed those videos, but I've done at least 3 Gary Coleman videos. And for her to just go on A&E and do a lie detector test, we know. It's like, we know you're a suspect, girl. I don't believe it. I think she's a lie. Okay. Let's get it together, guys. Listen. Are y'all listening? Let me know. I did a video on this earlier. I did. Donaldo over here, President Donaldo Trump, he was really, really mad because a reporter asked him about the Epstein list. And he got really mad about just being asked that. Really, really mad. So he kind of lashed out and was like, what are you doing? That type of situation, which is, I mean, and I was sitting there and I was like, well, if they're going to talk about the floods, like I that definitely is important. There's a time and place to talk about this. But quite honestly, I don't know if the administration is allowing even a room for people to ask questions about yes, I did. Sorry. He's not even asking people to ask questions about this whole situation. He's just not. He's kind of like maybe hoping that people won't ask anymore about this list, and then it'll kind of die down. But I want people to be aware of, like, this has been on the forefront of a lot of people's minds for a long, long time. I think it's fair, like, and I'm going to be like, definitely, before we go to that, I'm going to definitely be talking about this because it's fair to say. Now, this was around the time of the
Would you declassify the 9/11?
The election time. Okay, just listen to what he had to say then. Okay.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others. Certainly about the way he died. It'd be interesting to find out what happened there, because that was a weird situation and the cameras didn't happen to be working, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I'd go a long way toward that one. The other stuff I would definitely do the January 6th.
Okay, that was hilarious. And 9/11, yeah, absolutely. Kennedy, sure. Epstein, I guess so. I mean, less so. Not Epstein, less so. Not. Why don't you just give it away? He's in the file.
He's in the file.
He said he might declassify some very interesting documents. Let's listen to this.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
Oh, no. He said, yeah, I would. He said that he would, right? What do you guys think?
Guy, declassified Jeffrey Epstein files. What do you think? And the rest of that list.
That last one is extra interesting.
Yeah, it is extra interesting.
I would like to see that. I think a lot of Americans would like to see that.
That originally aired on Fox and Friends, but was cut off right when Donald Trump said, yeah, I would. And then everything else he said was a major backtrack. By the way, it's incredibly significant news anytime Donald Trump talks about Jeffrey Epstein, anytime anyone in a position of power talks about Jeffrey Epstein. Right. For what it's worth, for a news outlet, I think actually to get Donald Trump talking like that about Jeffrey Epstein is a pretty big story.
What do you guys think? Let me know. So they want us to believe that jail is a mission in a minute every day since 2009. And no one did anything for 26 years. GTFO. Beautiful messy ball. Listen, I'm having a hard time understanding what the issue is. And it wouldn't have been such a testy issue. He knows. Look, guys. It's very simple. If he wants to address this, hey, have a press conference. He doesn't even have to address it directly. He could have Pam. He could have Kash Patel. He could have all these individuals that he's had kind of look through these files, have them do a press conference where they could sit there and answer all these questions. I mean, that's at least you're modeling a level of transparency. The fact that you're like kind of dancing around the issue doesn't really help. Like, it's a lot of gaslighting. And let me tell you, I've had a lot of people, like I said, I don't cater to either side, because I think the biggest mistake that we have done to ourselves here in this country is to really limit our mindsets to believe that you're either left or you're right. I'm just not. I'm not for it. I don't subscribe. I never have. And at one point, well, let me backtrack that. At one point, I did when I was a lot younger. At one point, I was one way, and then I would switch over to the other way. And in some of that, I feel like was only reflective during the time that I was voting. But how much of it did I notice it in my daily life as a voter? That's the question. So I started really, now that I've gotten a lot older and potentially wiser, who knows? I don't know, maybe a little bit. I'm not really sure. I have my moments. I do. I realize that we've limited ourselves as humans, as people, when we only think about life in two ways, the left or the right, political, non-political, because at the end of the day, that's not what this is. Like, we're missing the human element out of all of this. In my opinion, a lot of people should be held accountable. There should be so much transparency from this, right? There should be. Why not? Yeah, I agree with you on this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful messy ball. You're right. You said I only waffle biscuit. Hold up. Before I read your comment, because your comment made me laugh. All right, but I am limited. Yeah, because like I said, I have people that are Trump. Like I said, I have people that are both. I have people that are, also Trump supporters in my comments that say, "Listen, I support Trump, but I'm really upset about this." And I figured you would be, guys. I have a lot of family that's divided by this. I don't want to be divided by any of this shit, because honestly, like, it's too much, and it eats you alive if you allow it to. I don't know. And at the same time, it's almost like, how can you not be, right? Because we're fed it all the time. Pick a side, pick this. But what I do want, whether it's the left or the right, I want there to be transparency. And historically, there's never been an administration that has been 1000% transparent. I always side eye the people during election that say we're going to be 1000, we're going to be transparent. The fake news is not going to get us. We're going to be transparent. It is never transparent. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you like the politician. They're never transparent. They will never tell you anything that they think at all. They won't. It's very convenient. But I'm kind of with waffle biscuits here. I only support the West Side. West Side. That's the side that I'm on. Okay. All right. Oh my God. BJ. Shout out to BJ. This lipstick is slaying. Thank you, love. Shout out to you. You said I shoot. I had to step away and give the kittens a bath. Shout out to you. All right. But there's good and bad in both sides. Absolutely. I have been independent since the day I registered to vote, because I never wanted to pigeonhole myself. I have never, let me tell you, oh my God, Venus, thank you for being a member for 14 months. Thank you, love. Shout out to you. Thank you, my love, for supporting the channel. Let me tell you guys something. I grew up in some of you guys can relate to this. My family's Catholic. I grew up very heavy in Catholicism, right? And I hope my mom doesn't get mad that I say this, but it is what it is. There's always been a divide. For the longest time when I was younger, and maybe because I didn't really know better, I was always voting one side. And part of it is because I didn't want to go to hell. I felt like I was going to go, oh my God, I better, so-and-so better get an office, so we're going to go to hell and we're damned. And so I come from that, and I got some trauma from that. Honestly, I still deal with it every day, where it's like, your religious beliefs become primary, and maybe they should be to a certain extent. I pray and I'm very spiritual, but I don't allow the idea of like in my mind, I'm like, if you can't live life, then aren't you already in hell to a certain degree? You know what I mean? And so for me, it's like that's kind of how it's always been. So when I broke away from that, it was very liberating, but it was very scary, but very liberating. When you grow up in like a Catholic home, very heavy in Catholic, yeah, I feel you on that. I mean, I have an uncle in Mexico. He was a priest for the time. He baptized me. You know, he was murdered horrifically when I was young, but there's stories out there, and you know, Catholicism has always been very heavy in our family, right? This Catholic guilt right here. And then one day I had a conversation with the priest about Catholic guilt. And he was a really, really nice priest that like it kind of made me feel like I wasn't even talking to a priest. One day I went to talk to a priest. This was many years ago. And I started talking to them about how I felt very guilty about things, and how do you differentiate whether it's the devil at work or actually God? And I'm that kind of person that will always push the envelope on something. I don't believe that the church needs to tell you who to elect. I believe that there should be religious freedoms. I definitely do. I also believe that there should be a good review of some of these institutions, because you don't want to, the cult-like mentality of it can exist whether in whatever institution you're in. You have to be very careful. But I struggle when I would go to church and I had a conversation with the priest. I said, I struggle with you guys telling me to vote one way. And it's solely because of this view on this issue or that view. I struggle with that. I really do. Don't tell me who to vote for, because you guys, we want religious freedoms, but I don't know if all these parties are for that, right? So I've always stood on that. So anyways, not to get on a tangent, but what I'm getting to and what I have learned is that although religion is supposed to be helpful, it actually feeds to a lot of trauma that I've had to survive myself from that. And there's a lot that I can get into, but I'm not going to. So when I feel like we're putting so much faith in a person, whether it's a celebrity or a politician, him, for example, this man is just a man at the end of the day. And he's been appointed a lot of responsibilities as for our whole nation. And I don't know why it's like that, whether it's him or Biden or whoever's in office. It shouldn't be like that. It should really be about the people and the people coming together to figure out like who's really at their best interest. And at this point, it's like none of these political people have the best interests of the folks. They don't. Simple question. Watching him squirm a little bit there was interesting. But let me play this, okay? And I played this earlier on a shorter video. But tell me what you guys think about this.
Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Kosticki, allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night instead?
Yeah, sure. If
Could I just interrupt?
Sure.
Look at him.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Because we were talking about him in November. We were talking about him when you were running around all over the place. Yes, we are. When Trump got, when there was that attempted assassination on Trump, you guys remember that? I talked about it on this video. I'm not a fan of Trump, but I didn't think it was fair for anybody to make an attempt on his life, or anybody's life for that matter, right? I think if we're going to do a political party, let it be what it is, right? But for me, it's like, you can't, if you told the people that you're going to release information, if you said this, you want transparency, 100% transparency. This is part of that. And people are watching you. Now, I mean, based on how the system is designed, I don't think this guy can come back to office, right? Like there wouldn't be another term for him. But I'm going to side eye if another person that has the same kind of policies and qualities decides to run and then does the same BS to us. And it's not just Trump. This information should have been released in the other administration. Like, why are we waiting now? If that makes sense. There should have been transparency a long time ago. I don't understand the red tape. And for what? And for what?
This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein
because it needs
at
to
a
be
time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy.
Greatest success and tragedy. Now, maybe it was the wrong time because they're talking about the floods, right? But why? I've gotten emails and people have said, well, this thing with Epstein is a distraction from the floods. I don't think so. I think we can like multitask and talk about and cover multiple things at the same time. Hell, we do it all the time as content creators, right? Not that we're the president, but I'm just saying, like, I'm going to talk about Diddy today, and I'm going to talk about Epstein, and I'm going to talk about these people. And this man has got a lot of people working under him. It can be addressed. You can't address it. You can't talk about it. You can't hold the press conference and have people ask questions. And for all you supporters out there, because you see the BS, I'm happy that you see the BS for what it is and that you're calling it out. It's not going against the president. It's really trying to hold these people accountable, because guess what? They work for us. I don't work for you, but they do. He works for me, right? He's an extension of us, whether we like it or not. He's up there, right? So yes, answer the question.
With what happened in Texas, it just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day.
And that, unfortunately, guys, is not going to go away because they're refusing to address the issue. Where did this come from? Who sent him this prawn? And the camera's a little blurry. Who sent him this material? Who sent the material? Where did it come from? Where did it originate? Was it the dark web? Where was it from? Who sent it to him? 1,000 victims. Who supported this man while these people got victimized? Which one was it? So yes, it all matters. It all matters. Wes in Peace, thank you so much for becoming a member. Shout out to you, my love. Thank you. For renewing your membership. You've been a member before. Thank you, love. Shout out to you. Someone gonna get him fired. Yeah. I think it's a legit question. What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with asking the questions and I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad people are seeing things for what they really are.
To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide.
So the video wasn't conclusive. They put out there in that FBI letter, which is why a lot of people came into my comments and they said, hey, we don't know about that video. We don't know. And I'm like, why would you guys question the video if it's coming straight from the website, right? From the letter from the FBI and the DOJ, right? The link was attached to it. So why were people, her saying that it's inconclusive to what? What exactly? And why would we put things out there that are inconclusive? Guys, like, I feel like we're asking the same question over and over when it comes to this.
Evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
No, but they said, hold up.
The FBI looks at this.
Here's shout out to Nate the lawyer. You guys know he's like my favorite law tuber. Look.
Circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list.
Flashback. The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Quote,
go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes.
Flashback. The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that.
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list?
So we go from AG Pam Bondi saying that Jeffrey Epstein's client list is on her desk and they're going to release it, to now there is no client list.
Which one is it? No client list? What happened? I don't know. Angie Mo, thank you so much for being a member for 6 months. Thank you, Angie Mo. Shout out to you. Let me know what you guys think. She's a Scientologist? No. Is she really? I didn't know that. Oh my God. You know what? Fire them all. I didn't know that. Oh, I might have to look into that. Are you kidding me? Lord have mercy. It is a very one tangled web. He doesn't want to give up the blackmail operation. Throw it all away. Throw it all away. Hold up. Now, let me hit play on this.
Let's talk about it.
Shout out to Nate the lawyer. I love Nate the lawyer's commentary.
Now, here's a message from our video sponsor, Outskill. In 2025, 51% of companies...
Okay, let me skip this over a little bit. Okay, here we go.
...or time expired. And remember, it's free. So this is Attorney General Pam Bondi. Now, Pam Bondi had told us many, many, many times that she was going to release everything on Jeffrey Epstein.
You said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk. When can we see them, and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released.
That never came, by the way. Tomorrow never happened. Mamacita needs a margarita. Why can't you release the file as it is? Let the people judge for it. Well, I can understand the need to redact. Like, they need to redact victims' information. Completely get it. We don't want it. We don't want child prom. That's not what we want, right? Or abuse material. That's what it's called, to be exact. We don't want that. But then why can't they release the people involved? Who chains, hotel chains, flight information, other arrangements, Uber, they don't have Ubers, cabs, that kind of thing, bank accounts, monies. I want it all out.
By my office.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
What you're going to see hopefully tomorrow is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information, but it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay. Well,
along with his co-defendant.
Absolutely. And he had help. That's for sure.
He sure did.
And he had help. So why not? Those are co-conspirators, right? Why not charge them? You have Maxwell sitting behind bars. For what exactly? For what? She literally went down for this whole operation of 1,000 victims?
then Pam Bondi did this whole thing where she gave influencers some binders and told everybody they're releasing the Epstein treasure trove. But in a shocking move, nothing was there. There was absolutely nothing there. And Jesse Waters, who was interviewing her before, actually called her out, said, hey, this was all BS.
Epstein was facing sex trafficking charges in Lower Manhattan. Where's all that paperwork? The FBI seized computers, surveillance videos, banking records, file cabinets, and photographs from all of Epstein's properties in New Mexico, the Virgin Islands, Palm Beach, and in New York. The Justice Department also gave Epstein a sweetheart non-prosecution deal 17 years ago. Where are those files? The Bureau of Prisons. Where are those files? So we were looking today to find out more about why the government's been so suspiciously protective of Jeffrey Epstein. This afternoon, a bunch of conservative influencers left a meeting at the White House with binders that said the Epstein files, phase 1. Once the binders were opened, people were able to see flight records and Epstein's Rolodex and a list of masseuses. The masseuses' names were blacked out, and the information from the flight logs wasn't new. Neither was the Rolodex. When we began to feel duped, Pam Bondi released a letter that says, basically, I was duped.
Now, I would be here playing clips all night if you want to just see clips of people saying, we're going to release the Epstein stuff. Here's Donald Trump telling Lex Friedman that he was going to release some of the Epstein stuff.
But a lot of big people went to that island. But fortunately, I was not one of them.
It's just very strange for a lot of people that the list of clients that went to the island has not been made public.
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very interesting, isn't it? Look. It's not that hard. Just release it. Why isn't it released? Maybe it's some of his donors. Maybe it's some of his donors. Maybe it's some of his affiliates and associates, and God knows that would be like, if I release it, that'd be bad for me. They'd come after him, come after them. Okay.
Probably will be, by the way. Probably.
So if you're able to, you'll be.
Yeah, certainly take a look at it. Now, Kennedy's interesting because it's so many years ago. They do that for danger too, because, endangers certain people, et cetera, et cetera. So Kennedy is very different from the Epstein thing. But yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would. I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
I'd have no problem with it. And then the AG, Pam Bondi, she came on and said, hey, he told me to release it. I'm going to release it. Here is her saying that same thing again.
Scaring bad guys, something Cash has talked about a lot, and you have when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein and people who are like predators in this country. They've been given a pass, and a lot of Americans think these guys got a pass for a long time, and maybe even are still being protected right now. Where are we at with the Jeffrey Epstein list, the documents? And Cash has made a lot of public statements about this. Where are we at?
I was briefed on that yesterday. I can't talk about that publicly, but President Trump has given a very strong directive, and that's going to be followed.
Wow. Okay. So
a lot of documents.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So people can expect actual movement on this. It's not just empty promises.
Oh, Donald Trump doesn't make empty promises.
Yeah, right.
I think promises made, promises kept, and that's why we're all there to carry out his directive about making America safe and prosperous.
Now,
wow. Oh, shit. Wow, that didn't age very well. Now, did it? No, it did not.
We're going to fast forward to when Pam Bondi becomes Attorney General. She goes on Fox News and they ask her straight out, are you going to release the client list? Now, at that point in time, she can say, well, listen, I haven't seen a client list. I'm looking at a whole bunch of stuff, but we'll figure it out. But she specifically responded with this.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So we go from we're going to release all the evidence and the Epstein list. There's no reason to protect it all, right? The case is over. To now, there was no client list and he wasn't murdered. And on top of that, back in February, Trump's personal attorney, and now she is the U.S. attorney for New Jersey, she came out and made it very, very clear. Her client, Donald Trump, and the administration are going to release everything, and it's going to be shocking.
In this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court. But again, now it's time for accountability.
Hold up. Oh my God, beautiful messy ball. Girl, give me your internet. Beautiful messy ball, you must be pissed off because you're literally going off in my comments. Look at you. Damn it. She took the files too? Okay. Let me hit play.
We have seen for so many years, Bears, in this country, many investigations, subpoenas, testimonies in Congress, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway. We don't take it home. And I really believe that now with Cash and Pam, there will be accountability.
Now, this is a little insane because every clip I can find, and I can make this video an hour long with just clips of people from the administration saying these files exist, the list exists, and on top of that, they're going to release it so everyone knows what happened. And at the last possible moment, they put out a report saying there is no list. There is no more information. We got it all already. Does anyone really believe that?
No.
Like, honestly, is there someone out there who believes that?
No.
Now, I'm just going to keep it 100% real. They are lying through their teeth.
Yes, they
Either
are.
they were lying before when they said we had it and like, hey, this list is on my desk. What happened to all of the tapes? There's so much evidence in the Epstein stuff that we've not seen most of it. There's most of it still somehow classified. Epstein is gone. Maxwell's in jail. Who are they protecting? Well, Kash Patel has an idea.
You know, it's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing? Oh,
I saw you
give out.
I saw you make news this morning about that. I got to get to that.
Yeah.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, you know, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if release the names, right? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list. You're going to accept Dick Durbin's word or whoever that guy is as to who is on that list and who isn't, and that it can and can't be released. Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. We have an election coming up and we need to adjudicate this matter at the polls. God knows the FBI and DOJ aren't going to do anything, but how are you going to reward the FBI with a new headquarters building after their illegal surveillance on Donald Trump continues with a reauthorization of FISA and we can't even get basic documents out? This is why America hates Congress. And this is why I'm tired of the Republican majority saying they're going to get the job done and failing.
Well, did that age pretty well? Let me know what you guys think of that. I mean, that didn't age very well. I don't know, man. Does he? Okay. All right.
And now they're saying there is no list? We're supposed to believe there's no list. Let me know how you feel in the comment section, because I'm just going to be honest with you. There is a list. And the people on that list are Republicans and Democrats.
Both of them.
They're all on the list.
I agree.
And this is what's known as...
I actually agree. I feel like we're going to see both. This is why I'm like, don't limit your mind into two parties. Don't limit your mind to two parties, because it doesn't work that way, guys. These people, the ones up there with the money, they're on that. They're on that. And they don't want the destruction that could happen if that information gets released. That's what this is.
Mutually assured destruction. What does that mean? That means if that list comes out, the left will be hurt by that list and the right will be hurt by that list. So they will just not let the list come out. And I need people to understand, when Epstein died, Trump was president. He was president after Epstein died, and then he lost the election to Joe Biden. Lost, stolen, whatever you want to call it, that happened, right? So while he was in office the first time, he had all the evidence was at his fingertips. He could have let it go, but there was still investigations. Named Maxwell was still going to trial. So, and Trump being president had access to all the information. He knew if there was a list or not. Then he loses the election. And then while running for election again, he goes and tells everybody he's going to release the list. He's going to release the list, all the files on the list, right? Who better would know what was there than the president of the United States, who oversees all that stuff?
Exactly.
He gets back in office. And now, lo and behold, not only is he not releasing the list, he's got the nerve that they'll tell us there was never a list. Okay. I don't believe it.
He was Epstein. Wild. There's something off here, guys. This does not make sense whatsoever. It doesn't. How do these people suddenly, all of them say, well, no. We looked in there. We don't want to peddle conspiracy theories about this. There's no list. He offed himself in his cell. Really? And then the video is missing a minute and nobody can explain it? They all lied, guys. Yes, that is Nate the lawyer. Shout out to Nate the lawyer. Literally, I said, right, Kim? Mm-hmm. They all lied. They all lied to us, y'all. I just can't believe it. I cannot believe it, but maybe I should. But I just like, it's the fact that it's happening and then the gaslighting is happening right in front of us when there's literal clips. There's been so many clips about them speaking on this.
Now, if you think all of that was bad, the feds then dropped 11 hours of video allegedly in the jail where Jeffrey Epstein passed away at. Now, the important part about this video is that there is 1 full minute missing in this 10-hour video. And remember, this video was put out to make people feel more comfortable with Jeffrey Epstein's death and the manner in which the government says he died. So here is that 1 minute missing.
And guess what else happens at 11:58 and 58 seconds? At 11:58 and 58 seconds on July 9th, the time jumps to 12 a.m. on July 10th. No 11:59, the entire minute has been deleted. Why would they do that? And it's easily visible when you manually scan the video like I always do because it's an easy way to see if the camera's position has changed. And there's no reason the camera should have been touched, let alone moved on this night or any night. So there's this. I told you to take note that the video provided to us by the DOJ and FBI was under 11 hours, right? It began at 7:40 p.m. on July 9th, and it ends at 6:40 a.m. on July 10th. Don't you find it odd that Jeffrey Epstein was found at approximately 6:30 a.m. on July 10th, 2019, and this video goes to exactly that time?
Yep.
So there's this miraculous time jump, and this is supposed to be proof of what they said happened to Epstein in that prison. And just to be clear, the doors that you see aren't the doors to Jeffrey Epstein's cell. Those are doors to other cells, and the camera angle is you're actually looking down toward a hallway that Epstein's cell is around, where you can see people going back and forth. So this isn't really a video of Epstein's room or Epstein's cell or even the door of Epstein's cell. This is a video of a hallway leading to his cell, if that makes sense.
So why?
So now, to be fair, the administration has come forward and given excuses or explanations to all of these inconsistencies, like Pam Bondi saying she has the list, then they're going to release the information and all this other stuff. So here is what the president and Attorney General Pam Bondi has said about the missing minute and all this other stuff.
That's the Attorney General question too. Sure. Your memo and release yesterday in Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency.
He goes off. I just want people to keep something in mind. Epstein was arrested under Trump's administration, died under Trump's administration, and now we can't even release the information under his administration. Okay. Just so people are aware, this does not make something's off about this situation. But hey, you know, maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe. He called him a horrible guy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he would know they were partying it up with him, the young Donald Trump. There you go. I don't get it. And how we didn't even know this before. Like, you know, I guess I'm like, what's going on here? You know, of course, his friendship with Bill Clinton, there's that. You can't ignore that. You cannot. So what is Maxwell? Remind me again what Maxwell is sitting in prison for again. Remind me again what is she sitting there for? I forgot. What's she doing there? This doesn't make any sense. Oh my God. Okay, thank you, A-Girl. I'll check it out when I get a minute. Thank you, love. Shout out to you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Yeah. It just doesn't. I mean, I'm glad people are calling it out. According to the FBI, there is more than 1,000 victims of Epstein's S trafficking. Each witness interviewed would have described events, people, communication, location, phone numbers, processes, and specific names of people involved. Exactly. 1,000 people. 1,000 people. Every young woman victim interviewed by the FBI would have named or described the men who had S with her along with dates and times. That information can't be disclosed. The FBI would have corroborated that testimony with flight logs, guest registration, cell phones, GPS data, phone calls, credit cards, charges, and any video on the island along the interviews of pilots and flight attendants and house staff. We are not stupid. No, we're not. No, we're not. And but they are treating us as such. Like, some don't sound right. Epstein has been trending. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I definitely think that there's something's not right about this at all. And like I said, it's just the simple principle of just making sure, regardless of what administration it is, that people are releasing the truth and that people are transparent. A lot of us are just tired of this shit. Every election we get bullshit all the time. We get celebrities that endorse these politicians. We don't care about celebrities. I don't give a fuck about a mega stallion or a Taylor Swift or a Candace Owens, because I kind of consider her kind of in that realm too, or all these other people who they vote for, because they're going to vote for whoever the hell they want to, and they're taken care of financially. They're fine. They've made a career of themselves. But I'm talking about us regular average people that are living day by day, that need help and support, whatever it may be. Okay. Those people are taken care of. They don't give a shit. They want to throw their propaganda at us. I'm talking about us right here currently. Those people don't give a shit about us. Okay? That's how it is. That's how it is. You said, not sure if I saw the YTCC on your page. Let me know, because there's a CC that I follow. And man, did she do a deep dive on Epstein last night. Eye-opening. Check the community tab. That's where I post a lot of the things. Honestly. Ooh. Wow. Quantum fixes physics, just like Musk. Tesla died in New York City, and it was Trump's uncle who sent to retrieve Tesla's truck. It's crazy, man. It's all a distraction, honestly. I got nothing. Don't look behind the curtains. That's right. Anyways, guys, y'all are amazing. I will be live tomorrow. I'm a little tired, so I'm gonna go to bed now. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you're watching the replay, hit the like button. We have 200 and plus people here. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button, please, and thank you. Support the channel. It does help. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Bye bye. Have a good night, guys. Bye.